Intro. I am the tall, dark stranger those warnings prepared you for. Emergency warning. You were one of those people, it is clear, who needs help. I think you should stop speaking in a low, attractive voice whenever you call. Stop making me think of velvet and fragrant tobacco and that first sip of bourbon. Stop inciting stirrings, movements between us, little rebellions, causing chaos in all of my darker places. The top half of my body is at gross political warfare with the lower. One part of me is roaring and the other wholly disapproves. You are a beautiful danger. Do not force me to open up. Some books are bound tightly for years for reasons. Some books are burned for their own good, love. Stop wearing clothes the way that you do. Don't allow them to cling to your body like that. Do not follow these effortless fashions where everything looks just so, because really, who could resist such a thing? The Lord knows you are beautiful and unfair. I think perhaps you should spare a thought, dear, for those who are sick over you, burning up with you, damp with you. You know what you do. You're a slow fever. Don't be so very engaging, amusing, or witty or bright. You are causing confusion and jams in tight spaces. You are an accident in waiting, the type of accident with casualties spanning from me to you and here to there, a potential tragedy, a stunning unborn disaster. Should I touch you? I will suffer, and you will suffer, and she will suffer. You are a danger zone. I must not enter. I should not enter, but I might. Liking things. Women who were brought up devout and fearful get stirred like anyone else. Want men, want other women, stink under the arms at the end of the day. Get that all-too-familiar mix of fear and discontent in the night. Want to do the things that they must not do, those dirty, bloody, attractive things. A fine art. You may have learned from your mother or any other hunted woman. Smiling at devils is a useful learned thing. Swallowing discomfort down in spades, holding it tight in your belly. Aging on the inside only. Keeping it forever sexy. Bone. From one who says don't cry, you'll like it after a while. And two who tells you thank you after the fact and can't look at your face. To three who pays for your breakfast and a cab home and your mother's rent. To four who says, but you felt so good, I didn't know how to stop. To five who says giving your body is tough, but something you do very well. To six who smells of tobacco and says, come on, I can feel that you love this. To those who feel bad in the morning. Yes, some feel bad in the morning. And sometimes they tell you you want it. And sometimes you think that you do. Thank heavens you're resetting, ever setting, and resetting. How else do you sew up the tears? How else can the body survive? This was the story. This was the story according to her, but then she could never be trusted. It was safe to say that we had established this by now. We had established this on a very regular basis. On this particular morning, her story and its various possibilities did corroborate with stories she had told before, but everything else was out of sorts. We were drinking whiskey on 2 stools by the window. It was freezing cold, and the moon was a tiny slip of a thing in the sky. She had woken me up for school far too early or far too late again. Also, we were trying to avoid the view. She was house-proud, but not at all garden-proud, and the garden was an embarrassment, even at the wrong pitch-black time of day. Now she was saying that she met my father somewhere on a large boat. She was working on the Gold Leaf cruise liner in 1984. The way she put it, I could be the child of 1 of 4, possibly 5, but the 5th was not likely due to timing and the fact that they were interrupted before the point of no return. However, as she put it, and never tactfully enough, accidents do happen. So here were the 4, plus the very slim possibility. 1, the captain's mate. 2, the dark-skinned man behind the bar, or 3, his friend, or 4, his other friend, owing to the fact that it had been a crazy night in the middle of a set of 6 lost, crazy months, and she was A, going through a great deal, heartbreak namely, B, drinking far too much, far too often. Furthermore, she did not subscribe to the theory of regretting anything. If she did, she might regret not having more control over the situation. Also, most cases like this won't stand up in court. 5, least likely, the one she loved. I felt that I should get up, although you couldn't stand to your full height in our house. Do I call it a house? And make a point about going to school because she was likely to forget. Anyway, she went on, this fettered concept of motherhood is outdated. You can go and come back, and go and come back, and I shall always be here. I shall always be here. That is real love for you, and don't let anyone tell you any different. Then she began to speak in a different language. Her lover was fast asleep in the bed, too far gone to move. He had been sick on the pillow and was drawing some very unsettling snores, but as always, she was in her own space, not hearing. She rested her head on the table and disappeared as usual. I put on my coat, looked over them both and left for school or something like it. When I came back, our house was gone. Sometimes exactly what you want not to happen happens anyway.